Previous administration openly accused of concealing the true state of the country's finances ahead of the general elections and grossly under-budgeting for key commitments. Addressing the first sitting of Parliament since its Parliament opened 3 weeks ago, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis laid out the improper borrowing practices and what his government will do as it sets the foundation for a new era in the country's development. Keishla Adderley has the story.
Prime Minister Davis told Parliament in his supplementary budget communication that the government does not expect to see a national debt increase beyond what's forecast in the 2021-2022 budget as it focuses on leading the way out of crisis. Peeling back the layers of financial activity under the former administration, the Prime Minister revealed that a probe of the country's finances by a major accounting firm reflected a major inconsistency in the reporting of liabilities, as documented by the previous administration.
The numbers provided by the Ministry of Finance for the period ending the 30th of September 2021 reveal a $1 billion difference from the numbers provided by the previous government in their pre-election report. $1 billion difference. Fiscal Responsibility Act requires the pre-election report, which I've referred, to be signed both by the Minister of Finance and the Financial Secretary. I will leave it to the Bahamian people to judge. I leave it to the Bahamian people to judge whether a $1 billion difference between the report and the reality reflected an honest, whether the reality reflected an honest and true commitment to fiscal transparency.
The Prime Minister also lamented that borrowing has been severely restricted as debt to GDP ratios have tightened in recent years.
Our country's public debt levels rose from roughly 61% of GDP in 2018-2019 to almost 100% of GDP by 2020. Such a level is clearly unacceptable for a country as small as ours, and our credit rating has deteriorated as a result. We have fallen to non-investment grade status, or as it is commonly known, junk status.
To deal with the deficit, a debt advisory committee to be chaired by former State Finance Minister James Smith has been mandated to provide the government with a debt strategy. Much of that debt linked to IMF borrowing, which the Prime Minister said was grossly mismanaged.
August 2021, the public learned from the Auditor General himself that a key condition of the IMF facility was to disclose publicly who receive contracts from the borrowed funds. Yet the former administration completely ignored that requirement, and as it left office, it still failed to provide the necessary disclosure. I have now been advised by the officials within the Ministry of Finance that this loan was entered into without a legal opinion to confirm whether the government could comply with the terms, and there was no provision made on an ex post basis to comply with the terms of the financing.
Prime Minister Davis also revealing that contract commitments were left out of budget consideration in many cases, among other things that require funding.
The report excludes amounts owing for taxes for a star witness in a criminal case of a former cabinet minister. This is a very unusual arrangement, which is supported by a promissory note signed by a senior official of the Ministry of Finance.
Parliament has adjourned to Monday, November 1st at 10 a.m. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Attention, all building contractors and home owners. Conant Bahamas, your competent home improvement store, now has in stock kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, porcelain tiles, vinyl and laminated flooring, PVC windows, and so much more. Visit any one of our 4 locations today Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, or Eleuthera, where we are committed to offering excellent customer service. You dream it, we design it, we deliver it.
If you missed anything, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our ZNS Network YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, for breaking news, live event coverage, web exclusives, and much more.